Here's a conversation reflecting on Chapter 18, The Threshold.
Today we are diving into a really powerful idea. It's one that promises to fundamentally shift how you see daily struggles, strain, even confusion in your life.
It's a big one. We're exploring the work of Mark Firehammer and this central idea of a lens.
A lens, a preset way of seeing the world that we inherited, without even realizing it.
That's exactly it. And our mission here, really, is to distill the core of this. The insight is that so many of our difficulties are not our own failings,
but predictable outcomes of an inherited lens. I love that phrasing.
It's powerful, right?
Yeah.
The challenge isn't to find new answers. It's to find a new way of seeing the questions themselves.
So if we follow that logic, we shouldn't be looking inward to fix some personal flaw.
No, we should be looking outward to the patterns of what the book calls civilizational conditioning.
That is a complete flip of the script that most self-improvement is built on.
That is, and it connects right away to the book's argument about the separateness myth.
Okay, let's unpack that. What is the separateness myth?
Well, the material identifies the root cause early on. It says that for civilization to scale, to create hierarchies, it had to suppress certain aspects of our human nature.
The inconvenient parts.
The inconvenient parts, exactly. Things like embodied awareness, spontaneous creativity, deep connection, cooperation that isn't, rigidly structured.
So by suppressing those essential things, we created this myth.
The myth that we achieve things alone, that success is an isolated individual act.
This sounds heavy, but I think it connects directly to a feeling so many people have, which is just chronic burnout.
Oh, absolutely. And the source material offers a brilliant critique of why self-help so often feels, inconsistent, why it doesn't always stick.
Because it's a downstream remedy.
Precisely. Think of a polluted river. You can spend all your time cleaning up the garbage at the mouth of the river downstream.
But the factory upstream is still dumping pollution in.
Exactly. Fixing your behavior or managing symptoms, that's the downstream work. The pollution, the real structural distortion, is the lens itself, the upstream cause.
And that lens is what tells us we have to compete, we have to sacrifice rest for productivity.
And those beliefs are what scale up into these huge cultural outcomes we see. Polarization, disconnection, all of it.
Okay, so how do we change it? Let's talk about the point where this all shifts for a person. The book calls it the threshold.
Yes, the threshold. This is the moment your sense of kind of ownership over the lens ends. When you see it for what it is.
What does that actually look like? Is it a big lightning bolt moment?
Not usually.
Mm-hmm.
The material says the crossing happens when a familiar old problem suddenly starts to look unfamiliar.
You see it with new eyes.
You do. You realize the strain isn't a sign that you're failing. It's just a predictable artifact of the system you're using.
So clarity isn't a new answer you find. It's a reorganization of attention. I love that.
It's the perfect way to put it.
So instead of seeing procrastination as laziness, you might see it as, what, boundary fatigue?
Or instead of anxiety being a personal disorder, you see it as chronic systemic misalignment. That's the key reframing.
Confusion becomes information.
Exactly. What felt like a personal failure now just registers as simple misalignment. Nothing new is added. It's about what you allow to matter. The goal is coherence, not just insight.
So the whole path to personal repair, it doesn't start with fixing a flaw in you.
It starts by seeing accurately, by recognizing that individual strain so often just reflects a huge systemic, civilizational misalignment.
In short, seeing the lens is the repair.
That's the core of it.
So we want to leave you with a final thought to consider. The book suggests we absorbed this lens long before we even had language. It was set by our environment before we could question it.
So your deepest beliefs were formed before you could even articulate them.
Right. So if that's true, what one single belief could you name and question today? A belief about struggle or success or connection that might just reveal a core piece of this civilizational pattern at work in your own life.
Thanks for listening. Before moving on, take a pause and read the next chapter. The conversation for that chapter will be waiting here when you're ready.